Hey guys, welcome to part 3. Uh, Sorry I haven't been able to put up a video it's been about 3 days. I've had a lot of stuff going on with family. I've had a lot of stuff with school too, math test. But now it's the weekend. I am ready to keep going. Let's get started here. I think what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna start by adding a door in the back area over here. So you can push 0 to get out of camera mode. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add probably a cube. Yeah, let's try that. And put it right about in the middle. You can hold down control and remember that snaps it to the grid. You can go ahead and just size it pretty much to whatever size you want. There's not really any required length. And okay, so just size that and push tab to go into edit mode, and I like to put a loop cut right about there. And then if we just extrude backwards, and then we can just get rid of these vertices. Oh wait, hold on a sec, I did that completely wrong, sorry. Alright, so we got this here. Now I can size this down a lot more. To about there. What's this? Let's close that. Alright, then Shift D. Yeah, Shift D. And just bring it up. And just size along the Y. And bring that back to the wall. And there you go. There's your steps. That's how I like to make simple steps. Like let's say I'm making like an actual stairwell or something. I'd obviously put a lot more time into it, but since this is gonna kind of be rendered from far away, you're not gonna be able to see it to too much detail, so it doesn't have to be in the most perfect condition. For the door, what did I do for the door? I think for the door what I did was I made a border first, so let's go ahead and do that. Oh, actually, yeah. Let's start with the actual door, so I know what size I'm going off of here. So just add a plane, R along the X, push 90 on your keypad, and bring that to just in front of the actual wall, because it's not going to be open, right? So we're not going to really have to worry about that too much. We're not going to have to actually model very well the door. And I like to give it just a different color so I can tell it apart. Yeah, now we're just going to put a border around that as soon as I get this in here perfectly. Okay. Yeah, so Control S, and if you click cursor to selection, that's what I've been doing all the time. It brings your cursor to whatever you have selected, obviously, and when you add an object, that's where it'll appear. So instead of me always having to scroll out, bring it, drag it over, I can just make it appear near whatever object or where I'm going to be modeling or building around. So Shift A once again, and now we're just going to do the border. And we're just going to start scaling it. Make sure not to scale along the Z, otherwise you might get some gaps, which you might not want. And just fit it nicely. And once again, this isn't going to be super high detail because it's going to be kind of far away from the camera. It's not going to be very easy to make out, especially once we go through all the compositing, which I'm going to be showing you guys. And yeah, Shift S. And if you click selection to cursor, that'll bring your object to wherever your cursor is. And once again, it's awesome for modeling because it keeps everything nice and exact. And the other guy on the channel, Ben, he was making fun of me because I'm kind of new to modeling. I haven't done very much of it, and he's more on the kick-ass side of it. So I'm just trying to. This is kind of like I needed to teach myself because at first I was just like, oh, I'm making a game. Ben does all the objects. I'll let him look after all that stuff. But then I kind of started to notice I wasn't very good at modeling, and I kind of had to start getting better because if I was going to go into the industry, I would have to be a lot better at it. So I kind of started to do this, and now this is kind of like practice for me. So bear with me. By the way, if you wanted to know how I made all of these one part, you just select all of them and then just push Control J, and that'll join any object together. So now when I go into edit mode, they are all one. And actually, I can see here they're not lined up perfectly, and it just makes it easier because now you can just bring it out perfectly. Let's take a look on this side. That's fine. Okay. Let's add a handle. Why not? We got time. Cube. Size that down a whole bunch. And place it just about there. And now what we can do is we can just extrude by pushing E, remember? Rotate it a bit. Bring it over. It's actually rotated a lot more. Extrude. Just like that. Rotate it a bit. There you go. No one's going to be able to see that, so just keep it like so. You can go ahead and make a super awesome looking handle depending on how your scene's set up, but for me, it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, let's go ahead and add the rails here. So all that we're going to do that, just select anything near your stairs, and we are going to add probably a cube, I'd like to think. Most people would also think like, oh, a pole, I should probably use a cylinder. But most of the time, I don't know, cylinders, they don't seem to work out as well. I don't know if that makes much sense, but when I'm using a cylinder and I'm trying to do something, I'll come across it and it'll have like the normals, they'll be like colliding with each other, and then I'll have to go in and fix it, and it's just a lot more work. When a cube, you can just do everything with a lot less hassle, a lot less vertices to work with, and you can just kind of go from there and add a subdivision surface after that. And if you do that, everything looks just fine. I've never had any problems with it, so that's always what I do. Yeah, let's add the modifier first. So go to the modifiers panel, add modifiers, and then subdivision surface. For people who don't know a lot about modifiers, subdivision surface is something to be really careful with, because most of the time, people who are kind of new at Blender, they'll start out and they'll just bump it up a whole crap load. And it's probably the worst thing you could probably do, because if I apply this, look how much more faces it added to my nice perfect cube. And could you imagine doing that with a cylinder? So you have to be really careful about how you're going to plan out using your modifiers. I know it sounds something that doesn't seem very important, but be careful when you're using your modifiers. Shift D that across here. Oh, yeah, Shift D, push Control D. And now I moved it way over there, but now it's all the way over here. There you go. That's actually looking really wide. Let me just fix that a little bit. Awesome. Just like that. And now we can go ahead and apply these, and then select both of them and Control J. Awesome. How are we looking on time? We got about 2-3 minutes left. Okay, what we're going to do now is we are going to add the lights, the things that are beginning up. We're going to model them. So, once again, I'm going to guess that you guys are going to notice that I like using cubes. So go ahead and add one. We're going to size it down. And now we're just going to go ahead and just kind of pick out where we want those lights to be. So let's go like that. And then Control R, and you're going to place your loop cuts just like that. And that's just for the type of light that I want to use. If you guys want to make like maybe like a more like dingy looking one, or even like a newer looking one, that would be awesome. You guys can do whatever you want. You don't have to follow my models exactly. Like, you guys can just go for whatever you think looks right. You don't have to agree with everything that I'm saying or doing. So, and if you guys ever actually make anything, like when you follow my tutorial and you actually make something, oh, show me. That would be so cool to see what you guys do with my work. That would be just awesome. So while I was jibber jabbing, I just extruded it in and just kind of set it up. And now what I've pushed Control P, or just P, sorry, and that's made it his own object. And now I'm going to turn the emit value up to that much. How much was that? That was 0.90. And now what we can do is we can go ahead and put that on the wall. So bring it up and put it wherever you want your light to be. Like I said, you don't have to follow my idea. I'm probably going to give it a bevel because those edges are looking extremely sharp. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, we got one. Let's do the other one. The other one, all we're going to do is just Shift-D that. Bring that over. R, and then along the Z, and then push 90 on your keypad. And put it to wherever you want your light to be coming from. Mine was right above the door there. So if we save that by pushing Control S, that's a quick way of saving it. And if we push 0, we can render this out. And as you can tell, it still looks like crap because we haven't done the lighting yet. But we're almost done the modeling. We'll get into the lighting. Then we'll do the textures and compositing, and we'll be done. So I think we're going to continue that into another tutorial. So thank you very much for watching, and I will be seeing you guys later.